purpose of certificate of need laws is a topic that has been debated for years. Tennessee is a certificate of need state, which means healthcare providers must get permission from the state to open a facility.
The purpose of these types of laws is to control healthcare costs by avoiding doubling services within an area. However, others argue a CON does the opposite and leads to higher healthcare costs and less access for patients. News Channel 9's Meg Doyle sat down with one doctor in Chattanooga who went through the extensive CON process to hear his experience.
It's a situation that played out here over state lines. In 2022, CHI Memorial received a certificate of need to open this facility in Fort Oglethorpe. But Park Ridge, that operates nearby in Tennessee, filed an appeal because they said it duplicated their same services. That started a months-long standoff, but in the end, CHI got the go-ahead. This is just one example of how certificate of need laws can affect patients' access to care and why some doctors think it's an unnecessary step.
It's a redundant roadblock that really impairs the care Tennesseans get.
Matthew Hitchcock had the idea of opening his own cash-only imaging center after struggling to get care for his patients.
So this is ultrasound.
Due to long wait times and high costs, even with insurance. So in 2022, Dr. Hitchcock began looking into the certificate of need process.
Very quickly kind of realized it was the information they were asking for was a little bit more than kind of what we could kind of get together.
The Tennessee Health Facilities Commission lays out a 13-step process on its website.
I do think having that CON roadblock does deter a lot of people from starting healthcare businesses that could help benefit Tennesseans.
Those needs are part of the focus for the Institute for Justice. It's a nonprofit, public interest law firm that has represented several clients applying for CON.
That certificate of need laws drive up the cost of healthcare, but because it's limiting the supply of healthcare providers, it limits choice.
Alistair Whitney with the Institute says certificate of need laws allow incumbent providers to hold their dominance in the healthcare market.
When folks ask themselves, why is healthcare so expensive? Why does it take me an hour to get to my doctor's appointment? Why does it take an ambulance an hour to come pick me up at my house for an emergency treatment? Certificate of need is one of the culprits.
However, the Tennessee Hospital Association has voiced support for CON laws, saying, quote, "This prevents unnecessary and costly duplication of services and helps level the playing field by preventing providers who are not subject to the same federal regulations as hospitals." The Tennessee Health Facilities Commission says a certificate of need will not be granted to a provider unless the effects attributed to competition or duplication would be positive for consumers. Back in Hickson, Dr. Hitchcock says it took more than 2 years and close to $80,000 to go through the CON process and get his application presented in front of the board.
No one opposed our application, and the board was actually really excited about what we were doing with no insurance and just a new way to do this.
But that does not happen for everyone.
A lot of times what happens with these is you'll get one of the local players, someone who already has a CON, will come in and oppose it and basically say, oh, we have access.
In Chattanooga, Meg Doyle, News Channel 9.
Legislation passed to reform some certificate of need requirements is expected to go into effect this summer. We reached out to the Tennessee Health Facilities Commission for an interview about the certificate of need process. They told us they do not do interviews.